So are you guys okay if we start the meeting now at 6:03 or 6:04 now?
We have David?
Yep.
Yes, we do. He is welcome. Hi, David.
Hi.
So did everybody get a chance to review and review the minutes from the previous meeting, or do we have that?
Yep, that's fine. They were fine with me.
Everybody okay with that?
I
Okay.
make a motion to. I make a
Second.
motion
The
to
minutes?
accept the minutes.
Second.
Yep.
Thank you. So I don't know if we have any pending invoices, anybody? No? Okay, great. Current planning. So we're already on item number 4 here. So the
Right.
membership update is that we have a new member. Unfortunately, he's not able to join the meeting tonight, which is Rob Norton. So
Great.
he has served previously on the committee. So he apologizes and hopefully he can make the next meeting. So moving on to our current planning for the honored citizen, Tom had actually raised this idea offline about last year. We really did not honor our honored citizen last year in 2020. So how does everyone feel about moving that individual to the 2021 honored citizen in any events that we have for the year of 2021?
Oh, actually, I
Or
think
is that the,
not necessarily what I was suggesting.
oh, well, sorry. Honored
Um,
citizen, open topic then.
Yeah, no, I think, I don't know. I mean, we could do that. But I also thought, do we just, it's fairly obvious to me at this point that we probably won't be able to do a regular honored citizen event in March.
Right?
We instead push that back and do it, in the fall or some other time in the year when, we may still be able to get it in for this year. If we are able to have our April events and whatnot, we could have the 2020 honored citizen participate, and then have 2021 and 2022 and 2022, otherwise really backed up. We have 3 of them in 2022, but no, I guess I hadn't thought of the idea of, just carrying 2020 over, but I could be open to either. But as I said, I was thinking more just push back honored citizen at this point.
Okay. So what do you guys feel about that? I mean, I think that obviously both have their pros and cons, but yeah, I think that if we honor the 2020 in 2021 events and then hold an honored citizen in the fall, then the honored citizen in the fall this year will hold on to the events of the 2022. Does that make sense?
No, can you repeat the last part of what you said?
So yes, the honored citizen that we elect in the fall this year for the 2021, we can honor them, have them be honored in the year of the 2022 events. Does that make sense? So we'll have this year 2020.
Does make sense.
They'll do everything for this year. We'll have another honored citizen rather than March because they would do all the events for the summer. We'll push that back to the fall and then have the person that we elect in the fall do all the events for the 2022. Does that make
You're
sense?
not suggesting we skip a year of honoring someone.
No.
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 So
It's just going to be a compressed year and then moving into the next person and then moving into so it would be a compressed year for this individual, obviously. And then having the 2021 person, so I don't know. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, if I may, I wouldn't even say it's compressed because the person will get the honors at all the events in 2022. This is again assuming we don't have events in 2021. But my motivation was thinking we're not going to be able to honor the person as we normally do in March, just, a likelihood. So rather than have another year without being able to honor the person, maybe we could honor someone appropriately in the fall with their own event and then carry them through. And we do have, and I'm embarrassed to say, I can't think of his name, 2020.
John Kais.
Guys, thank you. Could be honored at the events this spring, assuming we have them. And if we don't, then, then we have 3 of them stacked up for 2022. But that was my thought.
So go ahead, David.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah, go ahead. I would love to hear what you said.
All right. So if I may, Sue, part of the confusion is using the word honored. what we do is the honored citizen participates in the Patriots Day event and Memorial Day and Veterans Day. But the honoring ceremony, as Tom is saying, would happen in the fall. But anyways, with that said, so I've had some conversations. Mr. Kai's doesn't like public speaking and so on and so forth. Not that he has to do any of that. He feels he has been happy with the recognition he has received, and he's happy to have our committee move on. And I've heard other people say they'd like to have some normalcy. And so, I mean, I think we've already gotten past it, but we should honor someone new this year. And I think, Tom, as you're saying, I would agree, we'd have the 21 honoree and the 22 honoree both participate in Patriots Day and Memorial Day. It sounds like in 2022. But
Right.
we should try to select and have a ceremony for an honoree in, as Tom is suggesting, in the fall of 21.
But I don't think that the honoring is not what's in question. It's the question of when, right? So what we're saying is in 2021, we're not honoring in March, we're honoring in the fall.
Correct.
And then the public affirmation, meaning after that person is honored and named, the broadly public affirmation of the honored citizen in 2021 and probably in 2022 will happen in the calendar year 2022 at the events of Patriots Day, Memorial Day.
No. So when we say we have a ceremony where we honor the honored citizen,
Mhm.
at Harvey Wheeler, we actually have the ceremony and citations from the State House and the Select Board, and there's a speech given.
Yeah.
That's when the honored citizen is honored.
I do understand that.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Thank you. No, that's okay. I do understand that. I'm just saying that I'm trying to be articulate here.
I think, Sue, I agree with what you were saying. Yes, then the honoring, that participation of the 2021 honoree in other town events
Right. Has to
may- is my amendment, may well occur in 2022. I guess the kink is we can't say at this moment we're not having events in April and May, right? And so I guess then, my thought was Mr. Kai's might participate. It sounds like he may or may not, but I don't know. I kind of would hope if we asked him to at least just be present at these events, he doesn't need to speak or anything. Maybe he would do that if they are happening, and we're short an honored citizen essentially.
Right.
But I think
he does not want to.
do an honored citizen event. It sounds like.
No, if we happen to have a ceremony in March, he did not want to share Patriots Day with that person. He wants to let that person do it on their own. If we didn't have someone, and would he then ride in the carriage? We probably have to twist his arm or whatever, but that's another conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Worst case, we don't have one. I don't, the simple fact is we'd still be honoring somebody in the fall, but I guess my motivating thought was just to try to avoid the situation we had last year where we just weren't able to do the honored citizen ceremony and end up getting blown away. Let's try to have it sometime this year.
So, Tom, when do we do the selection?
We normally do it in.
No, I know when we normally do it, but when would you do it now with this revised
I see.
idea?
I guess depends when we set the date. I mean, do we pick them in September and do it in October? I'd be a little worried about, having submittal deadline, in like mid-August or something when people might be on vacation and not around. We should probably, give some time into September for that and then do the award in October is my guess. That's top of my head.
Or do we go through the paperwork and the process now?
We could.
Well, I think the decision, one, we also need to talk to the select board, one, to see if this is something that we could possibly be moving around, and also to let them know what our hope is, and obviously the wishes of Mr. Kais as well. So I guess, Matt, so that would be one thing, is to see if, one, because normally the applications and whatnot would be coming in next month, and we'd make that selection, and then eventually have it in March. So, and I'll kind of do an update on the Patriots Day, but so what is the vote then right now? What are people, what would you like to
Well, could I
do?
just ask to clarify something?
Sure.
That, so have all the other things happened relative to Mr. Kais? I mean, you know, his name is on the plaque, and he's, you know, the proclamations were written if they were not actually read in an event, or, you know, all of those things. I mean, I guess the question I'd have is no. Okay, so there are
Well-
aspects of the honor formally, not just simply the, you know, the event, but that haven't been completed.
So unfortunately, Matt, last year we were able to get a couple of those things, like we got the plaque, we got the clock, we got all of this other stuff. The thing that we did not have is the actual ceremony
Right.
last year.
But
So
if Mr. Kais
that's,
is, you know, reluctant to participate, then, you know, perhaps it's all okay. And, you know, it's just, I would hate for him to be denied some of the other aspects of the experience. If we skip the one that he doesn't want to do, then it might be all for the best. And we
when it
can
sounds
move
like
forward.
he would, right, and it sounds like he'd prefer not to.
Yeah, so move
Matt, so
forward
if
in
we-
2021, you know?
Right. Kind of as that whole thing. So it sounds like what we would probably we should do as a committee is get all those everything together, and then we could present it to him or have it presented to him in a quiet manner, which I
Yeah.
think it seems more appropriate for him to say that we
Yeah.
recognize you as the honored citizen of 2021. Obviously, it's an unprecedented year. This is how we'd like to recognize you. Maybe we should just do it that way. And then moving forward for this year, we can still try to do the honored citizen for this year. I wanted to update things on the Patriots Day for this year and go from there. So I don't want to jump the
Yeah.
gun on that.
Sure.
So
Can-
how, you had,
Jump in at Matt to answer, I think, a couple of your questions, though. Yeah, I don't think specifically the things you mentioned that the citations were written. I don't think we ever got those, you know, from state reps and select board and whatnot.
right, but
Back in the townhouse, it was literally about to be engraved, like literally the weekend that everything shut down. So, you know, the gentleman that does that got canceled. We've been talking to him now, but of course he can't get in the townhouse right now to do that.
have it done.
Actually, this would be a great time to hit for him to get in there, because they're just doing construction. I mean, if there's a way.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, it's pretty precarious right now. I mean, they're just not letting anybody in. You
Yeah.
have
No,
to-
they've got workmen in there.
I mean, yeah. So maybe we could talk about that offline
I mean,
and try to figure that out.
But I guess, you know, it comes back to maybe we do, you know, finish out those formalities, right? And then if you're going to have a quiet kind of recognition, to actually complete all of those at the same time, show the panel with the name and, you know, things like that, can maybe even do it. I don't know if Zoom is applicable, but and then I think moving ahead, because I think that it could be pretty awkward, other kinds of, you know, getting back to normalcy. I like that idea, even though we might not literally be able to, just in terms of timing, because you get backed up and things get difficult. So it may all work out for the best.
When you say move it ahead, Matt, do you mean push it back in the calendar?
We'll go with the 2021 process on the normal timeline, realizing that there could be a risk about the live ceremony yet again. But
Okay.
I just feel like otherwise we're going to be, I don't
Holding
know,
everything up.
but
and-
that's just me. I mean, you know, it's certainly, I could take this to the select board if you want a ruling on
Yeah.
it.
No, I actually would agree with that. I think if we go through the selection process and that person, I don't know, maybe Jessica, you can tell us, but maybe the 21 honoree does participate in Patriots Day. We haven't done the Harvey Wheeler thing, but I mean, at least we're prepared for if that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Patriots Day.
And to
Well,
Tom's
that's yet to
point,
come, that discussion.
To Tom's
Oh, yeah.
point, it would be difficult to be getting nominations in August if we're having a September meeting or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like, I mean.
So
people
does
are
it sound like then
in
we're
the
gonna just
process,
try to
but-
keep our normal schedule? So we'll try to still put everything into the paper and online to say we're accepting the applications for the honored citizen for this year of 2021. So moving forward, then we need to jump on that soon because
Yeah.
that process needs to start happening like within the next week.
Yep.
So we need to finalize that. So I'll just say moving forward, we're just going to start that process so that we can pick everything in February. So we need to start posting everything. And the Concord Journal just had their deadline, so they moved it to Thursday. So I'm going to try to see if I can try to sneak something in tomorrow. And I will email offline our blurb. Matt, I'll include you in that. Just say that we are looking for the honored citizen for 2021. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Moving forward to the Patriots Day 2021. So I was able to send out that email and you guys received all that content. I have received applications back. I have also received some responses saying we are not participating in this year at all. I was also notified that the Lexington Celebrations Committee has said that they are only doing a virtual. They will not be having their parade this year. So I'm trying right now to reach out to Arlington to see what they are going to do, because normally, Matt, we sort of work with a group that kind of goes from Lexington or Concord to Lexington to Arlington. So they do 3 parades in a row. So that if they're traveling a distance, they can go to Concord, then go to Lexington, and then they parade in Arlington parade. But Lexington this year has voted to do a complete virtual parade this year. I'm not entirely sure what that looks like because I'm trying to hear back, but that's also on their minutes from 2 nights ago. So I am hoping to receive that from their website soon. But I haven't heard back from the Arlington group about what they're hoping to do, but they generally wait until they see kind of what the areas, what we're doing in this area. So I just wanted to give you guys an update. I have received some applications, so some people are excited about the idea of potentially participating in the Patriots Day Parade, but a lot of people are very reluctant to, one, where is the vaccine going to be this year? What are we going to do? What does that mean for the kids? And I've had a couple of groups that involve kids, and they're being advised by their organizations not to hold anything that includes the kids for
Right.
an extended period of time. So 15 minutes or half an hour is max, but they're all at their social distancing. They all have to have masks. Most of the time they're outside even because they don't want any groups to meet inside. And I know that the Patriots Day Parade is obviously it's outside, but I just want to give you guys an update on that. So I've received about 5 applications back, and all of them are tentative, saying, well, if we can, we'd like to participate. It doesn't mean that they will, but if the pandemic and everything is still going the way that it is, then they may not. So I'm not sure what that means exactly right now, but I have a few responses. So
That's 5 out of 45 or 50.
more than that. I just, and that's with it, and as you know, I sent that out on December 15th, and I've only just received most of those within the last week and a half. Obviously it's been about a month, right, at this point. So that's 3 weeks. And I think, like I said, some people are excited by the idea, some are not. They just say, nope, we're not going to do it this year. And some are, well, we'll wait and see in March, because obviously we have that March deadline to see, hey, if you'd like to participate. I just don't know what that means right now, but I wanted to update you on that process. But Lexington is planning on holding a virtual.
Jaliska, when you say virtual, is it, are they showing like a greatest hits, or are they doing something like we did with Veterans Day where there'll just be a smaller ceremony?
I'm actually not sure because I haven't had a chance to look at the minutes.
Okay.
And that because I was hoping to have the minutes before coming to this meeting because I would have emailed everybody, but I haven't had a chance to. They didn't update it all online. So it was discussed apparently. They're planning on trying to do a virtual. I was hoping to reach out to who the contact people are for those committees. I haven't heard anything back yet.
Yep.
So I want everybody to be sort of aware of what that means, because potentially if Lexington is doing virtual and then Arlington is virtual, then the people that normally do our parade as well, the reason why we did it that way is just so that we could share the cost between the three towns. Then that cost would be fully on us. So I want to be mindful of that as well. Right? Because if they're not going to be, the reason why we did it that way was to have groups for all three parades and have a lower cost, is because we were sharing the cost between the three towns.
I like the idea of doing a 3-town virtual event.
I mean, that'd be cool.
For virtual and coordinate the virtual events, because I could tell you it's significant effort, potentially more effort to do a virtual event than a live one sometimes.
Right.
Depending on how it looks. Yeah.
Right. And so that's just something else. I mean, maybe like I said, I'm in contact with Arlington and Lexington. I haven't heard anything, but I just heard that Lexington is potentially planning that purely virtual this year. I don't know what that means, but I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
So,
I like Matt's idea, Jaliska. If you get in touch with them, maybe ask, would they be interested in doing, each town doing some sort of, half-hour stream or whatever it is, I don't know what their plan is, but do we, go back to back to back? So there's sort of a morning of events streaming on all of our town media,
yeah, I think that'd be really great. But like I said, I was a little shocked when I heard about it yesterday. So,
well, I guess, when did the marathon cancel? The marathon canceled December 1st or something. So,
right.
File on that. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So, well, you know what I'll do is I will definitely talk to them. And if we can figure out as a committee, I don't know how we can figure that out, but let's see what they're going to do and then what that means for the virtual. But that'd be interesting if we could do a 3-town back to back. I mean, that was the main reason why we had, the participants that we had.
Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to update you guys on that.
How many total responses have you gotten back?
Let me count them.
Or how many are outstanding? Either way.
Oh, I can tell you how many I've received. How about that? I've received 4 out of that entire list that I emailed out, which.
Is there a deadline, Joseph? I don't recall.
March 15th, I think.
Oh, they've got a while. Okay.
They have a while, but usually about this time.
Right. Start to come.
It's, we're kind of almost, we're inundated, trying to alphabetize and try to get everything all sort of, so by February, because about that time, we're also doing the honored citizen. So we didn't have to necessarily worry about all the applications coming in. But obviously you had the late, so you were able to get everybody into that stream. So, and the Girl Scouts, like I said, they're kind of all one of our bigger, groups sort of that come in. And I got a reply from the coordinator saying, they're really concerned about it. They'd love to have the Girl Scouts participate. It is outside, but now the kind of Girl Scouts and the scouting organization have sort of these rules that are saying, can't be this, you can only have so many kids. They have to have this, all the social distancing protocols in place. So, and just concerned about what that means. And it'd be a shame to not have it 2 years in a row, but.
The benefit this year, unlike last year when it was so, last minute and we just couldn't get control of it. I mean, I spent Patriots Day walking the route with about another 6 people out there at various stages. But, I think we showed on Veterans Day we could do a virtual event.
Yep.
And I think we could put something together, whether it's connected with the other towns or not. That'd be great if we could. That'd be terrific.
Maybe we should try to plan on doing that if we can come up with a couple weekends, maybe we can just try to plan walking it through. And then if we have, some of our script, obviously, like the Old North Bridge and something like that, I think that'd be really meaningful for people to be able to participate. And if people have, like, I have a lot of the pictures and whatnot, but if we had some engagement of some of the groups or something, like people from the town to somehow.
Great point, Jaliska. You've got a lot of photos from past years we could, give to Minuteman Media, to be running as well.
Right.
So in conjunction with it somehow, I'd, leave it to them how they do that. But right, no, we go to the North Bridge and lay a wreath and have the ceremony up there. Maybe we don't need to even do the parade itself, but
right, because then also we have the dawn salute right in the morning, and that's generally a smaller thing as well. I mean, in theory, we could do a virtual event for the dawn salute as well, and have everybody participate in something like that as well. Not participate, but be a part of that. Sorry, I don't know what's happened.
But is it possible to perhaps even engage some of these other groups, let's say the Girl Scouts, in a virtual way, so that they don't feel excluded, so that they're doing something for this? And I think it could make a richer event. Also just make people feel more.
Well, it's inclusive. Well, not, I mean, like, I think what people are sort of missing with this whole thing is the community piece of this,
That's
right? So if we plan to hold a virtual event, and if people want to participate, but maybe they submit something and that's how they participate.
They create a little video or something.
And just exactly create a little video or something. Because obviously I was surprised Lexington canceled, but, or that's what I heard, that it's virtual. That if we can maybe come up with a means to do a short video or include people or have a recording of or a picture of the groups, then that would be a great way to include them into that as well.
Jaliska, we may want, so this might be a good, it only occurred to me, a half hour ago that we hadn't talked to Tony Sudnick about tonight. We certainly would want to loop him into future meetings from his outreach a couple weeks ago, but it might be worth reaching out to him too and just seeing what's National Park Service's view, at this point of April events.
Okay.
Do you want
Probably
me to? Do you
a lot
want me
more
to,
stuff in the next few days, but
do you want me?
Yeah, I can reach out to him, and because what would be great is if we can get them and all, obviously please everybody all on the same page.
Yeah.
Then it'd be great to say if we did something like this and made it virtual, because we're not canceling right now. I'm not saying that right now. What I'm saying is that the possibility, is it possible for us to have an enriching program and a community filled program by doing it virtual? And if we can engage the Minuteman Media, is that right? If we can engage them to maybe we set up something that, people either, maybe they drop pictures off or they send me pictures or something to sort of engage. I think that'd be really nice for us to figure
Joseph,
out.
I'd be happy to reach out to, I can't think of the name of the person that, that I talked about on Veterans Day, but, make very clear, no decisions have been made, but sort of reserve the date for whatever we do, get it on their calendar now.
I would greatly appreciate that, Tom. So let's talk to him about the possible virtual for the events, obviously. And then let's also think about how we're going to do the dawn salute and reach out. David, are you comfortable with reaching out with the Minutemen or the CIB, Concord Independent Battery?
Yeah, that's okay. I can.
So that we could sort of,
from Veterans Day, they're going to want to do something.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And
Right. And
I mean, they're on the other side of the river anyways. I think for them, it would almost be sort of the normal thing.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It might be David letting them know that, look, we're in, 95%, we're going to do something, just tell them, we're going to do
Absolutely.
scaled down, but don't worry if you're hearing people aren't participating or whatever, there'll be an event, it's keeping them engaged.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, you guys got caught, or maybe it's just, I guess he emailed just you and me, Jaliska, right?
Yes, I think so.
I mean, I don't know. You don't think he understands that something's going to happen?
Yeah, I think that I think he's hopeful that something will happen. I think that that's the right word. So let's plan on, I guess, reaching out to some of these contacts, and I will keep everybody sort of appraised of Waltham and Lexington and what their plan is. And Matt, I really liked your idea, so I definitely will use that to see if we can figure out a virtual event with Arlington and Lexington. I mean, I think that's a really great idea, because then you can get the full history. So someone who's never done, participated in all three, the history in all of those places.
Yep.
I think that'd be really amazing. So I will definitely reach out to the three of them. Does anybody else have any other comment for tonight?
Well,
I could imagine interesting videos. You could be
I
standing in
can
police
too.
chair, and say, well, here's where the guys started, the night before, and keep on going to you're on the Lexington Green, and you can be everywhere almost all at once. Great.
Absolutely.
Right.
In 10 minutes you could do the whole thing, right?
Which I think is fantastic, because we've always done this parade, so I've never participated or seen Lexington's parade.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
that would be pretty interesting. So I'm definitely going to do that. I know that we have a couple of things, so we need to sort of finalize maybe the honored citizen application and
And I was
process.
looking at the deadlines in the past. That's like right up against
Well, that's what I'm saying. We really need to jump on this.
How much notice do you usually give people to, because I see like a February 15th deadline in past years. So
yeah, so we generally, I know, so that's why I'm saying we need to really jump on this. What I could do is that I believe we might have just missed the Concord Journals. Obviously we missed this the 21st deadline. Yeah. So it wouldn't be able to go in until the 28th, January 28th, which
their deadline's now the week before.
So yeah, it's generally that Thursday, or
so bad.
Well, it depends, because I think obviously the church's deadline, right? Holy Family, we try to do it at least that week, because sometimes it can be completely missed. So if we try to plan on having things in by that Thursday, Friday at noon is the absolute latest. So technically we might be able to get into the paper for the 23rd. I just don't want to guarantee that we're going to be able to get it into.
Well, and then maybe push the date a little bit.
Yeah, so I think
you can push it a week or two without jeopardizing things, right?
Right. So I think if we get it into the January 28th, the 2 weeks after is February 11th. But if we do a deadline of February 22nd, that'll give people 3 full weeks.
Yeah.
Which I think is the right amount of time. Yeah. And then technically we could sort of, if we really plan and pick everything within that week of the 22nd, we could try to plan something, even if it's virtually, even 2 weeks out from that. Which
remember also what we did last year, which was really helpful. I mean, most of the stuff was in early, and we met the week before and reviewed what we had, so we kind of knew what we thought about those applications, and then came back the next week. Okay, deadline's done. Is there anything new? Let's have a vote. And I think everything was in. So I don't think
it was in. It was in.
So it was quick.
It was very quick. So technically, if we're going to have that deadline, like I said, the 22nd, we could technically meet maybe in like March 15th that week.
Yep.
I'm sorry, February 15th. I apologize. And if we meet that February 15th week, we can sort of look at those applications there.
Yep.
Okay. So I will email everyone by tomorrow, the honored citizen, try to get it into the Concord Journal for, I'm not going to say for the 21st, but I'm going to say for the 28th, January 28th newspaper.
List on the actual event. I don't have that in front of me.
So I think we could try to do it either that 13th or 14th of March. Does that work? Or March 6th?
What?
But
right, isn't that so? Hold on, let's look at the calendar. I don't have it up right now.
The ceremony is right on the card, or when we made the dates in the falls, March 21st.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay.
March
So that's-
21st is when we're supposed to have the Harvey Wheeler ceremony.
Okay, so the 21st then. You know what? I think it's just like a week out.
I mean,
So
we do need to make the selection in February just so that
we can notify,
enough
interview.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, we got, yeah, exactly. We need to, and then let the, that person could let their family know and, if they're bringing people in or what have you, but.
Right, and then also we have to get the clergy and all that. So
But
we
also-
can,
And there's a long history of, carrying over nominations from previous years. And we actually last year, if you all recall, had a very difficult time between the final two candidates. So we do know we have at least I believe we have at least one excellent candidate, that we
Right.
could over.
yeah. So thank you, David, for bringing up that date. So the only reason why I think I had that deadline was so that we can make sure to interview the person and have that self-imposed of that 13th of being able to have, okay, we have the clergy person, we have, the newspaper article that should have already been in the Concord Journal. We've notified the family. We've gotten all the letters. So there's just a lot to do within that last sort of week. So I think that's why I was doing that self-imposed March 6th and 13th, because it is the ceremony is on that March 21st date. So thank you. So how does that sound as far as schedule, Tom, David, and Sue? Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that gives them 3 weeks for any nominations. That's fair. I
Okay.
think. Yeah. So-
Okay. And David, what do you think? Is that okay?
First is a Sunday.
yes. It's held at 2:00 in the afternoon.
On a Sunday. Okay.
Yes.
Traditionally,
Okay.
Yep. Traditionally, right. Right.
So what's the deadline for the nominations to be in?
So I think let's do, so if we get everything in on the 28th, we're doing it that February 22nd, right? Because it gives
Yeah,
3
month
full
ahead.
weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's 3 weeks of
Yeah.
nomination, 4 weeks plus.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Almost
So-
4 weeks, 3.5 weeks. Yeah.
4 weeks, almost exactly. One day less. Yeah.
Right. But I
So
mean,
we're-
I think
we're-
that's a, mhm.
So presumably we're meeting the week of the 22nd to make a selection. And I understand.
So yeah, what we're gonna do then, David, is try to probably meet that week before so we can.
No, I
look at-
understand, but I mean, we can't make the selection till after the deadline. So
Correct.
The deadline is February 22nd.
Correct.
And maybe meet on the 25th.
Yep.
Matt, I have a
Exactly.
question for you on that. It just occurred to me, traditionally, it hasn't been an issue, but I do vaguely recall previous years where we had attendees at that meeting from the public. We sort of asked them if we could have privacy and go into executive session to discuss individuals and nominations. That takes on a whole different spin in Zoom world.
Right.
It's a very tricky. I mean, I'm trying to think back on all the different ways that you can do an executive session. I don't know if this qualifies. So I think it's worth reviewing that list again to see whether, well, we've got time to figure this out, but I think it's worth checking whether this would be adequate to qualify or not.
Yeah, no, we got time.
Otherwise, it could get pretty awkward.
Yeah, I don't want to get us,
Right.
but I also don't feel like discussing individuals
No,
publicly.
it's not, it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wondered how you guys did it in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of held a.
It was just sort of
executive.
security by obscurity, as we call it sometimes, no one, if none of the public shows up,
Right, looking at it right now, there's nobody here,
but
but
we're recording. I mean, everything's recorded. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we can probably look into that. So Tom,
I'll
we have
look at
a relative schedule that you have on.
sorry.
Sorry, Tom. You have the relative schedule about deadlines, when we could
Yes,
potentially
yeah,
meet. David, are
27th.
you,
Yep, I have the deadline for applications of 2/22 and we'll meet that week. And then,
Okay.
At the date of the 21st.
great. And then, David, are you available to meet on the 25th of February? And Sue?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
and does this
we're also gonna meet
the week
the
before,
week before,
right?
right?
Yep, so the 25th, and then if we can, the 18th, or somewhere, even at the, if that doesn't work, then we can do another time too. So we're looking at the 18th and the 25th.
Fine.
You're all set, Sue. Thank you. David, are you available at those times?
Yeah.
Days? Okay,
Yeah.
so let's say 6 p.m. for those.
Yeah, I'll check on the Zoom.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, all right.
Okay, and hopefully that won't be too long.
If to Tom's point, if we can't have, well, I don't, we should not be discussing people and have this recorded. So I think we should keep in mind somehow trying to meet in the same room somehow.
Now, I think we may be able to call an executive session meeting. I'm looking at this, anything that discusses the character or reputation of an individual. Now, usually it's negative, but this is positive. But nonetheless, I think that you can state that. And then also it's similar to, like, there's job applicants, and in reviewing job applicants, you can do this, not for town manager, but for others. So I will take it back with me to town staff, but I'm feeling pretty confident that you'll be able to.
Great.
So in that, all right, so you're saying, Matt, that we can somehow turn
You
off
can
the
create a Zoom,
recording?
basically for the executive session, that's a private Zoom link.
Well, we can turn,
We've done it for select board.
Right.
And then, it's not published, and so then,
Okay.
and you have a waiting room, and so you admit people by identity, so
okay.
it's secure.
And Matt, to your point too, I mean, you're right, the nominations are all positive, but it
yeah.
does put us in the situation of weighing relative positives and saying, well, this doesn't really meet.
Yeah, it's a totally appropriate thing to do in executive session. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for looking into that, Matt. And I know that some people have other things to do before 7. So is there anything else that anybody would like to discuss as far as?
I have a request to the town. I think somewhere on the town website, the list of the honored citizens should be posted.
I would say send that request to Jeremy Rommel. He manages the town website, and I think that's a great suggestion.
Yeah, it's a great
Thank
idea.
you, David. No, that's great. Any?
Jalisco, are we going to try to?
May I say that's from the committee?
Absolutely, for me.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm
Are
sorry,
we
Tom.
try to meet prior to these meetings about honored citizen? Just, I think it sounds like we may have some follow-ups here on Patriots Day, and if we're virtual or in person, we're going to have to start talking about Patriots Day. So.
Yeah, and then also invite Tony, and then also give you an
Get his
update on
input. So, I'm thinking we may not need to do this next week, but maybe 2 weeks out, we might want to.
Okay. So are you looking at January 28th? Are you guys available?
I am.
Okay. 6 p.m.
Yep.
Do you think is it, or should we buy another week and do February 4th? It doesn't matter to me. I'm just wondering which way we need more time. Do we need more time before it or
I
after?
think, right. Well, I think the important thing is that if we decide to do a virtual, we need to engage in sooner rather than later. And then also if we need to engage with the other towns, Minutemen. So it's just maybe finalizing and opening that up. What do you think, David?
Whatever.
Yeah, I think it seems to me the only thing we really need to do before that is try to get hold of the other towns, get hold of Tony. Tony can join us hopefully at that meeting, but virtual or real, we might be getting into the realm where there's a lot of work to start being done. So I have more time.
And then obviously if we're also trying to plan the honored citizen with the Patriots Day, I'd prefer to do as much as we can beforehand. rather than
That'll
serve.
give us on responses too and that type of thing.
Exactly. Okay, so that'll be 3 days and then, so I have January 28th, February 18th, and February 25th, all at 6 p.m.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. And then we'll just see, we'll wait for your email, Tom, about availability, and then I
Yep.
can send out the agenda and we'll go from there. Thank you, Matt, for joining the meeting.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.